Hello, Victor Oliver, the Beach Bum Astrologer, although I've not been on the beach lately. I've been very busy. It's quite breezy this morning. Lots of people sitting about on the stone, so I thought I'd stay at home. I hope you like my mask. It makes my ears stick out. And I hope you like the hair. It's going a bit natural at the moment. All sorts of summits are being held to discuss whether one should tint it to keep up the media profile, otherwise people may be thinking I'm going to rack and ruin. But let's not talk about trivia, let's talk about astrology. Mars is in Aries now, and that's the subject I want to talk about today. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media about Mars in Aries and the Mars retrograde, which is going to start in September. First thing to be said about Mars is that in the mythology of astrology, it represents many different things, anything from war and aggression. Sometimes in the older systems, it's associated with masculinity, although I think these days that's slightly redundant because we're getting more nuanced in how we perceive people and their energies. But in another sense, Mars represents dynamism, go. When Austin Powers talks about his mojo, he's talking about his Mars, really. Perhaps he might not appreciate that if you told him. But Mars is the thing that gets us up in the morning, it's our drive and so forth. And ordinarily, when Mars is running through Aries, it's said to be in a strong position because Mars rules Aries. In traditional astrology, it also rules Scorpio, but these days, again, there have been variations. We now say Pluto rules Scorpio. But coming back to Mars in Aries, this is a very strong, dynamic place. But the trouble with great strength and energy is that if it's forming bad alignments with other planets, then we have problems. And the other thing that needs to be said is that Mars will be going retrograde in September and not going direct until, I think, October from memory. But we also have what we call shadow periods in the retrograde, and we are now in the shadow period. It started in late July and will run actually till early January. So the shadow period actually, in effect, is the Mars retrograde. And when the planet appears to go backwards, to give you basically the bottom line message, really we have to be extra cautious. This is on a sort of world level. And the other complication that needs to be pointed out is that this particular Mars, whether it's going direct or retrograde, whether it's in shadow or not, is going to form 6 squares to Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto between now and January. And squares in astrology are 90-degree alignments, and essentially they're quite challenging. And if you consider what's going on in the world today, with COVID-19 being perhaps the headline story, I would suggest that the Mars transit at this time with these squares to Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto indicate a great need for self-discipline, a great requirement to avoid unavoidable risk. And this can work on a personal level too. It rather depends where Mars is in your personal chart. But certainly in the world chart, considering what we know is going on and the fact that there is probably in effect a second or even third wave of COVID-19, and already we're having sort of localized lockdowns in this country, this is a sure indication, I'm sorry to say, that we're not out of the woods yet so far as COVID-19 is concerned. Don't have to be an astrologer to understand that. But it's interesting that the skies now are on sort of maximum alert. And I would strongly urge you to be extremely cautious in how you conduct yourself socially, professionally. Do you really need to take that trip? Do you really need to go on a holiday? I really don't think so. It's amazing with a bit of creativity what you can do. And it's sad to say this because we know that it's going to be a knock-on effect on the economy. So this particular Mars transit, whereas in the birth charts, individual birth charts, it may indicate good things. In my chart, it's pretty good because it forms a happy alignment with my Mercury, which is good for intellectual pursuits, communication, that sort of thing. But in the world chart, it's a slightly different story. And it's a case of playing safe, certainly. That's a government message I'm happy to support from the astrology. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for listening in. And I hope to talk to you further on matters astrological. If you want to check out my astrology and my range of services, do go to my website, victoroliver.co.uk. That's Victor Oliver, Olliver. You can also catch me weekly on the Peter Ross Show on United DJs, which is a rapidly growing radio station. And Mike Reed is one of the stars. And there are others like David Hamilton and other sort of legends of BBC Radio 1 who are now building this new sort of heritage type station. Anyway, thank you again for listening and hope to catch up with you again soon. Bye.